We kick it off?
Let's kick it off.
Kick it off.
Let's
bro.
kick it off. Welcome back to the trenches. Episode 14 coming at you guys as always. I'm Jay Fine. We got SK. We got Don Gordon. We got a good one coming for you guys today. We're back. We got a lot of things to talk about. Mostly football. Couple non-football things. We got Worldwide Wines over here doing his thing. Gordon, give a quick shout out. What are you drinking?
Hey man, it's Wednesday, so I gotta, whip my whistle. You feel me? We got a Vermeil Wines, Dalton Ranch Chardonnay 2018.
Ooh, 18.
Sonoma County. So Retro River Valley, one of my favorite regions, but it's normally for Pinot Noirs. But this is a Chardonnay, so we're about to try something different, boys.
Ooh, he bougie with it. He's really bougie with it.
And you know what? If you were in the studio, actually, Gordon, you would be having one of the very first Happy Dads in Massachusetts that we got right here.
One of one.
What do you got?
Very first?
What flavor you got, Steve?
Shit, I got wild cherry.
Wild cherry. You know what? I'm very curious because there was a big debate last time. Is wild cherry going to be different than black cherry?
It has to be, right?
It's got to be.
It has to be.
It's got to be. And I got pineapple.
Black cherry,
Pineapple's pineapple, but I love pineapple.
Pineapples. What you got about black cherry?
I said black cherry probably, he's probably got some swag on it. You know what I'm saying?
Shit.
Like, we black cherry. And then there's wild cherry. It's probably a little crazy. You know what I'm saying?
I see it being like a little tangier, like a little sour. Maybe. A little more sour. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Ooh, I like that one.
I don't know. Speaking of sour, where is Cam? Where's Cam Newton at?
I can't tell you. But you did say you had a sighting, right?
We did. We had a sighting.
Yeah.
So I didn't actually watch the podcast. He went on that show, All the Smoke. That I think it's what's his name? Matt Barnes. Is it Matt Barnes?
Yeah.
I think it's Matt Barnes.
What show is that? What show is that?
It's that little podcast where they have basically it's the NBA players, but most of the time they have some NFL, people come on, retired athletes that are on the way out or just not doing anything currently and just talk about life, chop it up. Yeah.
Right. And it's funny because all the interviews that he's doing, it's just funny because he keeps talking about how he's got a lot left and he's got a ton in the tank and how he's going to keep playing. But every time I see him in an interview or doing a pod, he's smoking a cigar, chilling, dressed you think it's the offseason. You think that dude just retired. He's ready to enjoy his life. So I don't know. I'm curious what he's doing.
And that was the thing. He was doing that shit during the season last year too.
Right.
After and before a game, just chiefing on it. And I'm like, all right, you're not exacerbating yourself like a lineman does or those skill set receivers, but still, you're a professional athlete at the end of the day. You can't be chiefing on all these cigars, You
know what? If that's something, if he wants to go home from a game or something like that and relax and smoke a cigar, hey, he's earned the right to do that. But if to put it in all your videos every time, it's almost like you need it in the video. It's all right, at a certain point, are you an NFL quarterback or are you a retired dude doing commentary and
And it's looking like both, and I think that's another reason why all these teams are I don't know. I'm not sure if this is the direction we want to go in per se at the moment because you're doing X, Y, and Z.
Right.
Smoking, being on fucking podcasts and dressing up like you going to the fucking Panic at the Disco concert or some shit, bro. I don't know. But like I said, I love Cam though.
I do too.
Yeah, that's just me saying what I have to say about it. But what up, G?
See, that's what the thing about Cam is, right? I think he's a smart individual. He's not dumb.
No, not at all.
No, he's very smart.
Dumb. And so he's doing these podcasts. He's doing his certain gimmicks and things like that you're like, oh, does it look like someone that's trying to start up again? I think he's trying to lament himself as an icon.
I like that.
In the entertainment industry. Obviously, he did his thing from football, but now he's on these podcasts, coming in with a cigar, coming in looking a certain type of way. Yeah, he did that before games, but now he's trying to create this iconic figure outside of football. He might talk, I want to play, there's an opportunity to come out, this, that, and the other thing. But if he had the opportunity to sit behind a microphone, sit on a TV show and be an icon, make the same amount of money or even more than being on a football field, especially if no one else wants to play, he'd take it.
Nah, I feel you. Yeah.
He's setting themselves up with other elite individuals with their own shows and showing out his brand, his image and how he will be successful in entertainment.
Yeah, that's definitely a way to secure your bag, especially if you know you're getting blackballed. I'm going to put that in quotations. If you're getting blackballed out or you feel like you're just getting pushed out in general, why not start on that second journey? Why not solidify everything, make sure everything's right in place? So now, all right, boom, that didn't work out. I already had this image in mind. Everybody knows who I am. Everybody knows how I'm going to come out. Let me just perform and do all this on, behind the scenes shit.
I really love that theory. And if you think about it, like what a ton of athletes, get into when they're done playing. It's commentary and like hosting, right? Like how many times, like you look at ESPN, like the panels are all just filled with former NFL athletes, right? All the commentators, like you look at the Patriots, like Scott Zolak, it's almost all former like players that get these jobs. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, so it's like if these guys can go into media working for like these big media conglomerates, why can't they go into media for themselves, being like their own like entrepreneur? Kinda,
Makes sense.
You know what I mean?
Except for Frank Gore. That motherfucker
what's he doing?
That motherfucker would rather get hit in the head. He turned down offers. I don't know if y'all know about this or heard about this. He turned down offers, right, this year to come back and play. But instead he said, I'm going to focus on my boxing career.
Wow.
He's going to focus on his boxing career.
All right. Very interesting.
I didn't read any more into it. I just saw that he stopped playing.
I mean, he's probably looking at the fact that these celebrities, like these washed up athletes, are getting like $10 million to come fight in these pay-per-view events.
This motherfucker was going to be on an active roster with a potential chance to fucking win the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, true.
You always had that chance. And if you get to that level or that expectation, however you want to categorize it, that you're going to get that
Buddy
extra
must have
money.
been done.
You're going to get that incentive. But I'm saying, if you're done, right? If you're done, and the whole thing about football for the past, I guess, 20 years that we've been like really hearing about is CTE, why the fuck would you go to another sport? Well, all you're going to do is just get blasted in your fucking head. And that's where I'm really lost on it. I'm trying to connect the dots. I'm trying to piece it all together. But for me, it's just not making any sense. So I had to bring that up to see what y'all motherfuckers had to talk about that. What do you have to say about that?
I mean,
there's a whole bunch of studies like nobody knows what to think about that because it's just such a wild move.
I mean, there has to be something more to it. There's probably something, behind the numbers that we don't know about. There must be something hidden in between the lines, in the trenches that we don't know about. Because this dude trying to give up an opportunity to win a Super Bowl, to get punched in the head.
And that's what I'm saying. I don't know.
I don't know.
Right with me.
I mean, look,
right in my spirit.
Maybe it's as simple as the fact that he feels like he's got something left in the tank and he wants to see what he can do in his athletic career before his physical peak is best. Because look, it's one of those things where it's like, a football career and a boxing career, it's not like they have different windows.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so he's like,
similar.
look, I got an athletic window as a whole. And football is kind of, do I really want to do this and be like a potential rotation player?
So now that you're saying it like that, I guess I could say I would much rather start my boxing career later in life than a football career later in life.
Right.
Especially at that position of playing a running back. So I guess, and I see where you're coming from.
Especially when you think, like when you're seeing what these celebrity fighters are getting now, it's like you don't have to work your way up like through the ranks and like beat big people to get like a payday.
No, you just have to have a name established already
exactly.
somewhere else, and people are gonna be like, all right, fuck it, I guess I'm gonna watch this. All right.
But yeah,
dude, Frank Gore, man,
it still doesn't make any fucking sense to me.
No.
He is definitely an individual that chooses violence. You know what I'm saying? One of those guys who's always been a tough individual.
Yeah.
He's been playing for years. He's one of the oldest dudes to be a running back in the league. Guy, what's up? And you know what I'm saying? Now he wants to get in a boxing career. He could just be like, you know what? Let me not be running every day, busting my knees up, this, that, and the other thing on the field. Let me go over here, train, beat the shit out of somebody because he balls out like that and he chooses violence and just go about my day. Make the same amount of money I'd be doing whether it's, long all season or training for one fight, make the same amount of money. Let me go ahead with myself.
Right. No, I understand that.
No, I mean,
It makes sense. Yeah.
I don't hate it. I do not hate it, and we do have a lot of football to touch on a little bit. But before we do got a couple of non-football things that I want to get to real quick. First off, we got to get to them. Let's touch on just a couple of the physical altercation side of things. We got Oscar De La Hoya, McGregor, and MGK, and Canelo. Let's start with De La Hoya because I know you want to talk about that.
Yeah, Oscar De La Hoya offered Floyd Money Mayweather, pretty boy Floyd, $100 million to fight him. I don't see it going his way, but if you were looking for another publicity stunt, this is definitely the one to do it. Now, what I'm interested in seeing is if Mayweather is actually going to accept this fight. Thoughts?
Is it gonna? You think it's gonna be one of these ones that doesn't count on the record, like type of thing?
I feel like it's going to have to count on the record type of thing because he's just only want to increase it. Obviously, Oscar's a little bit up there in age. So is Floyd, but I guarantee you Oscar's not training like how Floyd's training.
If I was Oscar, I was putting up $100 million.
At this point,
yeah,
but that's what I'm saying. At this point, he's probably playing catch up like a motherfucker right now. But Floyd does this, and it's just natural for him. Right. So I don't see him backing down unless he's trying to double up that money or just trying to increase it some way, somehow, shape, form, fashion.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
right.
I don't know, but what do you got to say about this?
No, I mean, I don't like. Honestly, I think it's kind of a similar situation. I just think it's like, hey, why not? Like celebrity boxing like is coming back huge, and hey, you're seeing a lot of these people step into the ring that aren't boxers or have just started boxing. So if you're an old retired boxer and you can't get in the ring with that 30-year-old hotshot that's contended for a world title, but you can still get in the ring and scrap. Like, why not use your boxing prowess to continue and further, your brand and your money making?
But to a dude that's never lost.
Oh, well, that's the thing. If you're De La Hoya, I mean, you got nothing to lose. Mayweather's got everything to lose. I feel like because it's one of those things where if he's putting up $100 million, he knows he's going to make more than $100 million doing it.
For sure.
And so financially, he's covered. So, and De La Hoya's lost. Like, he'd probably be the underdog. Like, he's got nothing to lose. Everything's on Mayweather.
I dig that. G, what you got to say?
Nah, man. Boxing, I'm no Max Kellerman when we start talking about boxing.
That was that boy's specialty.
All I know, watching these videos with these altercations going on, it's just funny. You know what I'm saying? Because people get excited about boxing, right? They still get excited about boxing.
It's a fun sport.
I feel like the hype of boxing is actually dwindling a bit, right? People get excited for UFC. People get excited when UFC fighters box with boxers. Well, you don't really see it unless it's a big name, you know what I'm saying? Like, Manny Pacquiao comes in with Mayweather and they're like, okay, we got to watch that fight type thing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
UFC is kind of on the rise. Boxing is actually kind of on the decline. And unless UFC and boxing are getting together, not as many people really know about it. And honestly, not many people care about it. I feel like that's just my opinion, obviously. But
no, you're 100% right.
You are right, and I want to say to a degree because of like what even Justin was saying. All these celebrities are coming in boxing. Now they're gonna have all these potential people who don't know anything about boxing coming in to tune in.
Right.
Now they're gonna be like, all right, I saw the celebrities fight. Let me go see this guy who's been training his whole life actually fight because I got excited to see that sport. But at the same time, UFC is a whole different game. You put people in submissions, chokeholds, grappling. Like it's fun. It's really fun because it's all body inclusive. You know what I mean?
In UFC, I feel like it's like an art. It's literally amazing. But
sure.
in mixed martial arts,
it's literally mixed martial arts.
It is an art.
It literally it's an art.
And
I just think it's funny though that like I bet if you just took like from a ratings or like viewers perspective, like would people rather watch like two old washed up boxers like De La Hoya and Mayweather, or even two celebrities that like don't have any boxing experience? I bet people would pick those two over the two like top 27-year-old contenders fighting each other in like the world right now.
Of course.
Because nobody knows who they are.
Exactly.
Like you said, boxing's dying. The only form of boxing that's alive is celebrity fighting. So that's literally
That's the only
you know
way
what I mean.
it's
That's
bridging
what it is
together.
right now.
Yeah, it's the only way that shit's getting bridged together.
Seriously.
But the funniest out of all those altercations that we've seen, we didn't even get to the big one. I'm gonna save Canelo for last. This McGregor MGK shit.
I mean,
What was
come
that?
on.
Oh my
What was
God.
that?
So look,
Yes.
What was that?
the only thing that I can possibly think of is that McGregor went to MGK, who's been in the media a lot lately, him and Megan Fox, and said, "Hey, look, I'm doing literally everything I can to the point where I'm embarrassing myself just to make headlines while I'm injured and like try to get myself like another fight."
Yep.
Bro, we're gonna.
Wait, what'd you say, Justin? I didn't hear you.
So I think it's a whole like 50 Cent like Fat Joe thing, like we talked about like one of the first episodes. I think it's like, hey, Machine Gun Kelly has been like in the media lately. Like him and Megan Fox have been getting a lot of clout, a lot of coverage, and Conor McGregor is trying to keep his career from literally evaporating. And so what's he doing? He's just doing shit to keep him relevant, like he has been for the last few months since he re-broke his leg and lost to Poirier. Like I think it's all a stunt.
Yeah.
I think it's a stunt because if it wasn't, McGregor would have snapped him like a fucking twig. I mean,
Facts.
seriously. I don't know.
I think
What
I
I've heard.
you got some
All
actual
right.
intel.
I've
Yeah, let's
heard,
hear it.
right?
Yeah,
You know
I was about
me.
to go on speculation. Let's go.
You know me and my celebrity shows. You know what I'm saying? I like to look.
You like to
details.
keep up with motherfuckers. We know.
And so what I did a little research. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a detective or nothing.
Yeah.
I'm not a detective. But I looked up, and apparently McGregor was trying to come up to Megan Fox and be like, "Yo, can I take a picture?"
That's
Was trying to get a
exactly what I was
picture
gonna fucking
with
say, bro.
MGK's girl. MGK was like, "Nah, go fuck yourself. Get away from me."
Yeah.
Type stuff. You know, and then he's just like trying to big body, like, you know who I am? And like, honestly, MGK might be small, but he's not a punk neither. He's gonna stand up. And so they're going in, and then security was pulling things off. McGregor goes to throw his thing. I thought he was just chirping a little bit, but it really, I guess it originated with Megan Fox and what's his name? McGregor coming up trying to ask for like a picture or trying to say something to her or something. It was crazy.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. It had to be more than, "Hey, Connor, hey, Machine, let's get this picture to go on." You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, it was definitely Connor drunk as fuck. That cup was halfway full. You know what I'm saying? So that shit had some big sips taken out of it. Went up to Broy. It was like, "Yo, let me get a picture with your girl." He was just like, "Nah, like, no, I don't care who you are. You're just not gonna take my girl." Got mad, threw a little pissy fit, and threw a drink. And that's the most bitch shit I've ever seen. You're a UFC fighter. Why not just try to square up with dude or grapple him? Take him, I don't know, something other than throwing a drink. Like you're a female.
He's all about
at
the
a birthday
theatrics.
party.
That's
You know what I'm
what I
saying?
mean?
But it's still, it's just like, yo, why are you throwing a drink like you're a female at a birthday party you just got told to leave out from? You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't make any sense in that aspect. And then he goes out and
100%.
throws that fucking first pitch that looks like shit. But
It could be exactly what y'all are saying. It could be, I mean, obviously it could have originated and started off like something from the sideline because, MGK has been out in the media a lot lately. Conor McGregor's not trying to have his career die. I don't think they're going to do some celebrity boxing match or anything.
Fuck no.
But I do think that making a scene made a big difference on that day too. So who knows? You're probably going to see some more MGK stuff in the future. You're probably going to go see some more Conor McGregor stuff going forward. But because what I see, I think Justin Bieber said something about him and someone else on this last award he just got. And it was just like, McGregor and who's the other person? But, they're doing everything they can to kind of keep him in the spotlight and keep him famous, even though his MMA career is kind of dying.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, hey, I guess when you kind of make yourself kind of part of the face of a franchise or an organization, I guess as part of it, it's like UFC probably almost feels like, hey, if Conor loses his relevancy, like we gotta make that up somewhere. And we have been seeing it. Honestly, shout out to my guys in the tail of the tape. They've been talking a lot about some of the potential dudes that we're seeing the UFC trying to groom to be the next Conor McGregor.
Like who?
One of them is Sean O'Malley.
Oh,
is one of them.
Sean. Yeah.
And Paddy Pimblett. Sean O'Malley and Paddy Pimblett. Those are two guys that
is a name in itself.
Yes.
Paddy
Pimblett.
Patty. Who's Patty? I feel like I know. I should know that.
Patty the Baddie.
Patty the Baddie?
Patty the Baddie.
Okay.
Oh yes, he's the Irish not the Irish Conor McGregor. He's the English Conor McGregor.
Exactly. Yo, you want to know? It's so funny that you said that because we filmed a podcast a few weeks ago, right before his fight, and we were hyping up the shit out of him, and we were saying he was Irish. We were saying, and then it came out that he's actually British. So you actually sniped that. Yeah. And then the next episode, we were like, all right, we're sorry, man. He's not Irish. He's British. But that was kind of funny that you just kind of sniped that, made that whole correction like right in 5 seconds. But yeah, he's the British Conor McGregor, basically. So that's what they're trying to do. Like, they got dudes that, honestly, it's kind of funny, but this is exactly what the Taylor Tape guy said. They're looking for just like bombastic, like big egos with like European accents, and they're just trying to pump them into the spotlight. Like, that's literally what they're doing. But
like, you're a fucking movie director just trying to get the hottest thing coming out of fucking Britain. Like, honestly, come on, you have that English.
Seriously, because that's one of the things they're saying is that a lot of these guys like Patty and like McGregor, like, they're getting groomed these easy give me fights that are just like, hey, beat this guy up on a main, like on somewhere on like a big televised like undercard, and get some notoriety, and that's just what they're doing. You know what I mean?
Just keep building.
Yeah, they want him to say he's like won like 15 in a row, like shit like that. But
hey, Canelo Alvarez is fast as fuck.
So fast.
But what's better than his being able to get that speed up is his quickness, and there's a difference between speed and quickness.
For sure.
This motherfucker is quick. That quick twitch muscle is there. And I don't know if these people have seen this fucking like little spat that they had with that little preview. He'd weave, pop, his ass real quick to the point where Buddy Caleb has a big ass gash underneath his eye. Now, I hope, and I pray that we're not going to hear any excuses or any delays just because of that. You know what I mean?
No.
Yeah, Alvarez pushed him first, and yeah, he got the hit on him, but Buddy tried to swing on him first, missed that shit, then retaliated. Yep. So I don't know how they're going to play that. I hope he doesn't play it as like, I'm hurt because of X, Y, and Z happened. But Buddy, you started that shit.
I mean, look, I'm honestly surprised that doesn't happen like every time two fighters stare each other down.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that. That's just inevitable. I feel like two dudes like that actually, like, I think it should be almost like, I don't know. Never mind. That's stupid. I was gonna say it should be almost encouraged, but that's the point of the fight. but
yeah,
I don't know.
You're not wrong.
I mean, no, it's just it's good. Like, I think there's almost an element to it where it's like when you're in the fight, it's like a sanctioned sporting event, right? But when you're staring each other down, that's like the last like real moment, like, before you get in the ring that you have like man to man.
That's called air and opportunity, people. Yeah. You give that fucking any guy, any man that much space, which was damn near none, and nobody being close up on them, and you just letting them fucking jibber jabber talk all that shit, someone's gonna say something else that the other person won't like at all. So that's just gonna happen. 100%. At least like with the UFC, they have what? Dana White like legit right in the middle.
Yeah, he's
of
legit
them.
in the middle.
These two dudes were just talking like by themselves. Like the closest security or person that could fucking help was like what, 10 feet away?
Yeah, because they don't want to be in the camera shot. They're like everyone out of the way.
Shit, and that spot, like, of course, anything's up for grabs. Right. Anything could go. It's just like, I don't know. But you know who did show some fight?
Who?
The Green Bay Packers.
The Green
Aaron
Bay
Rodgers was looking
Packers.
like Aaron Rodgers again. Shit just felt like it was right. It just felt like everything was right in the world again. And I was glad to see that. Even though it was against funky-ass Detroit Lions. And that sorry-ass QB who I ain't even going to say his name. Bro, all right, real quick. There was one play. I just turned to the game real quick. Real quick. I saw him drop back. He went to go pass. That shit just slipped out his hand. And as soon as I just saw it slip out of his hand, I was like, you know what? I'm out. I've seen everything I need to see about this game. Everything that needed to be told to me about this game has been told. And I was done.
No, it was just kind of, I don't know. It was just one of those bleh, I expected it to happen type of situations.
Right.
I don't know. What do you think, Gordon?
He don't even know that we talking to him.
Don't know. He can't even hear us. You got us muted.
Game. That game was something else, right? I mean,
yeah.
It was like 14-14 a little bit, and I was watching like the first half of it. I'm just like, are the Detroit Lions gonna really make a play? And if so, are they doing this because they're getting it together, or is my man Aaron Rodgers really trying to, pooch it so that he can, waste the season and leave? You saw the meme after their game one, right?
Right.
He's like, yeah, we just lost. And it's just like Aaron Rodgers, no, y'all lost.
I won. Right.
You know what I'm saying?
No,
so
I get that.
I was just like, is he going to push this? And then they end up coming through at the end. I'm not going to lie, I didn't watch the end of the game. But I'm saying is, I thought it was crazy that they turned around. They actually showed promise, and they ended up winning. But it's just like, bro, that was the Detroit Lions. Ain't nobody care about the Detroit Lions. You know what I'm saying?
No, I get you, yeah.
Actual people.
But I would say it makes a big deal because it was conference play. You know what I mean? That's going to have an implication. It's going to be a deciding factor later down the line just because I'm saying it's going to be a deciding factor just because how they started off the season. And I mean the Packers, how they just started off the season was just shitty. You know what I'm saying? Now they're going to come back the second week with a conference foe and was struggling with them against the Detroit Lions when it was 14-14. I saw it at that point. And then I saw that fucking debacle of a pass that turned into a fumble. And that just wrote everything else that I needed to see. And everything else I needed to see came to fruition. I think the final score was 35-17. But still. Right. Yeah, but still, it's just like, why did it take you guys that long to get this shit going?
I agree. I think, when something's a divisional game, I think you kind of got to throw records and shit like that out the window. I'm a big proponent of rivalry and competition brings the best out of both teams, right? I just think back to high school, no matter how good Braintree or Weymouth was in either sport, you always battled because you were rivals, right? So I think it's one of those types of things. It was nice to see the Packers kind of pull ahead. To be honest, I'm one of those dudes who's kind of rooting for the Lions to be a little better than people say that they are. Just to be completely honest, I always love the underdog story of that team that everyone thinks sucks or just has no business being in the field. Yeah, it's just unless they're playing my team, I'm kind of rooting for them. Type of thing. I just kind of like that. But speaking of what happened this Monday night, let's touch on real quick what happened last Monday night because we didn't get to talk about that yet. But let's just real quick talk about Lamar Jackson.
Oh my God!
And the Ravens.
That boy
finally.
That boy is cold.
Finally getting that win.
That boy is cold. Yes, just like you said, they finally got the win over KC. But that boy, Lamar Jackson, is something different. And I know we've all seen Mike play. And I'm talking about Mike Vick, not Jordan. I know we've all seen Mike play. But this dude and how he does it and how he's actually carrying himself and how he's being vocal with it, it's just fucking amazing. Did you see how John was talking to him at the end of the fucking game?
I was just going to say.
Lamar, do you want to go for it?
He said, hell, I saw him mouth that shit.
In real time. Me
said,
too.
Lamar, do you want to go for this? All I heard was hell yeah. Didn't hear anything else. I heard hell yeah. And I knew they were going to get that first down.
You know what? And you know what I love about that? I
knew they were going to get that first down.
Oh, you knew. You knew the second that he said. You know what I love about that? I've said that quietly. I always thought John Harbaugh is one of the best coaches in the NFL.
Yep.
And he's notoriously always been a player's coach. And that's the type of shit that just shows how strong of a bond and connection and how in tune you are with your team. That wasn't a, hey, I got to do what I think is right. That isn't a, hey, I got to do what's technically right for the team. He literally just said, hey, I got a young quarterback who's looking to get it right now. And he said, Lamar, what do you want to do? And Lamar said, we're going for it. And he said, let's go. He said, let's go. And then he got composed. Right at that, he got composed. He said, all right, let's go.
And
I loved it.
And that's what it takes. That's all it takes. You really want to get through to your players? I'm talking to all the coaches out there from high school to college, even for potentially NFL prospect. Like, you want to get in that ranks? That's what you got to do to like actually hone in and keep players, to keep them right there, but also to keep them and also keep them playing for you. Because there's a difference of just keeping a player on the squad. They could go through the motions. But if you can keep a player on the squad and then you can get them to play for you, man, the sky is really the fucking limit.
100%.
Yo, and at that moment, Lamar knew that Harbaugh was on his side. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
And it was just, I mean, obviously he's known for some time, but like for you to be in the middle of the field screaming, like, what do you want? Like, how do you want to handle this? Because only some of the most elite quarterbacks are given that ability to run a 2-minute offense on their own, how they feel, or run that last one. And at this moment, he said, what do you want to do? And Lamar's like, I got it. You know what I'm saying? And I promise you, because of that and the confidence that Harbaugh instilled in him because of that, they are going to have a solid rest of the season. I'm nervous, though. I feel like they, because of this win, they might get hot too early. And then with the longer season, they might die off a little bit later on because of all the injuries and longevity of the team.
Facts.
But right now, I'm bought in.
Facts.
No, that's a fire starter. That's for sure a fire starter for your team. Obviously, love to see that. And because, you know what, the other thing too is like, I want the Lamar and Mahomes rivalry to be legit, right? When one side just constantly whoops the shit out of the other side, it's not a rivalry. That's not a rivalry.
Yeah,
that's not a rivalry.
No, you need the back and forth. So I'm glad Lamar came out and won. I'm glad the Ravens won because I want to see whenever I see those two have each other on the schedule, I want to circle that game and I want to go, damn. I have no clue what's going to happen tonight, but it's going to be fireworks. I don't want to go, damn, Mahomes is going to light the Ravens up again.
I'm going to make a bold prediction about that game, and I think that's going to be the best game that we've seen all year, or we're going to see all year.
I like that.
Just because of the whole factor, man. Like, it was just back and forth. It was even a real defensive game. It was just like, you got a young quarterback, I got a young quarterback. We're going to fucking throw everything. We're going to just fucking duke this shit out.
Exact. Going for it on fourth downs, all that. Honestly, I loved it.
Everything, man.
I love
everything.
it. You know what? Maybe what I love the most is how Lamar started off the first drive with an interception.
Right.
Came back, threw a second interception, and then said, all right, no, I'm willing us to this win. This is not going to happen.
Right.
And
he did that shit with the little cartwheel in the end zone.
The little cartwheel in the end zone.
Hey, y'all, man. I mean, we obviously were talking about last Monday's really competitive game. But I feel like what we need to talk about now is the completely one-sided victory that the New England Patriots had against the New York Airplanes. They wish they were private jets. They're flying like their interceptions are flying left and right. They're definitely not going where they're supposed to be going. I
wasn't mad at it.
In spirit at this point, honestly, think about the New York Jets. Friggin' Zach Wilson. At first I gave him that one interception. It's like, okay, that was a good defensive play. Second one is like, all right, it went through the receiver's hands. The only two is the beginning of the game. It's all right. It's going to be a good game. We generally always have good games again in conference, whether it's a Jets, Dolphins, doesn't matter, even with Tom Brady.
Right.
But those two more bad ones and balling out. McCourty over here tied for third most interceptions from DB in Patriot history, and just have an absolute day. Mac Jones doing what he's done since preseason. He is the same man that scored on every single drive preseason, whether it be a field goal or it be a touchdown. He has done the same things as he's done preseason, and I love it. It's called consistency. You got to have a consistently excellable quarterback like Matt. I'm really excited for where we're going to go in the future, man. I really am.
Isn't it just funny how you always think about what the Patriots defense and what Bill Belichick are known for doing to rookie quarterbacks, right?
Yep.
Isn't it kind of funny to go in a game and see them do it to a rookie quarterback and not see that happen to our rookie quarterback? It's almost like you got to wonder, yeah, rookies are exploitable, but coaching is such a big part of it because there's a reason why Mac Jones is not doing what Zach Wilson or some of these.
Why is that?
You know why?
Why?
Because
is that?
Honestly, I think Mac Jones is better than people gave him credit for at first. I think people give him better than people gave him credit for.
For sure.
Also, if you just look at the play calling, Zach Wilson's out there running around, gunning it, chucking it, throwing it up like crazy. McDaniels and Belichick are not going to put Mac Jones in a spot where he has to gun and chuck and just throw it up wild and go crazy like that. So it's one of those things where we know, it feels like we have that experience that we can manage a rookie quarterback. Other teams really can't, and we make them pay for it every time.
But you're missing the third and most important one.
Let's hear it.
He's built by Bama.
Built by Bama.
Just straight up, he's built by Bama.
He knew Triple B.
He was
Built
behind
by Bama.
Tua. He was behind Jalen Hurts and watching them do the exact same shit.
Yeah.
Run around, gun it. Run around, gun it. So they're going to be like, God damn, why wouldn't I let this guy who's been behind those great players in college be a different guy when he gets to the league? No. Do the same shit that got you here. Do the exact same shit that got you here. Yeah, he's a happy dad. Do the same exact shit that got you here. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, why wouldn't you have it? You have all these options. You know you have a defensive-minded coach. And now you know you have McDaniels right there who's going to lead you to the promised land. You also have to trust in this guy, this quarterback, that he's going to lead the team to where they need to go. And he showed that against the Jets. He was damn near showing that against the Dolphins. Granted, that 1 point loss. 1 point victory for the Dolphins, but you know what I'm saying? Like, he was on the right path, the right trajectory for it.
For sure. I mean, it's good. Honestly, it's good to see Mac Jones hold up another week. It's good to see the defense do their thing, do what we were supposed to do. It's good to see us go out and win a game that we were supposed to win, give us our confidence back. And honestly, in the locker room afterwards, I got to say one real quick thing before we move on to the Patriots, because we do got a few more things we got to cover. But there's a lot of questions about Bill Belichick, and does he still have it? And is he a player's coach? Does he have the locker room? All that stuff. I feel like lately, when you watch Belichick in the locker room, especially like how the Patriots always post like their little clips, like post game and stuff like that. Like, I feel like especially since Brady has left, Belichick has put more of an emphasis on being a player's coach. And if you just listen to the way like he talks to them, like just the stuff he's saying, like, hey, like, Damian, way to run hard, like, way to do that, like, guys, like, way to respond to like blah blah blah, this and that. Like, that's not stuff that we're used to hearing the old Bill saying and doing. You know what I mean? So like, I think he's doing everything he can. Just because Brady did leave, he saw that, I got to get other players here. Let me get on the right track. Let me scale back how I am as a person, but most importantly as a coach, so I can get the necessary pieces into place so we can get to the next level or get back to the level that we were at before. Right. You know what I mean? Right. 100%. Gordon, anything else before we move on?
Yeah, all I'm saying is, I know you were saying earlier that people are underestimating Mac. His potential is showing, and it's very obvious. Some people, they look at scores and wins, but, obviously he's not where he needs to be at. And I feel like, we as a team, we're not Super Bowl ready. I don't care how well we do within the conference or whatever. I don't think we're ready to win a Super Bowl, but we will get there. And we are fortunate enough that the coaches invested, the actual GMs, they've invested, and the players, they're invested. And I'm excited to see where we go from here.
All right, speaking of the future, Speaking of future, the future of the Bears organization lies in this young man's hands.
Does.
Now, before we get talking on Justin Fields, I just want to say, Matt Nagy, I am so over your bullshit. And obviously, you know more about football than me, but like, dude, why do you keep saying no matter what, Andy Dalton is your starting quarterback? Like, he came out again and said, when Andy Dalton's healthy, Andy's our starter. Dude, what? I don't get, what is this? I don't understand.
I think he really like sold a promise or a pipe dream to Andy that no matter what happens this year, injury or not, whenever you get back right, you will be our quarterback, and he has to publicly say that. So now if the situation turns into something that's going to last longer, or that Justin is just killing it and he pulls him, let's just say this is going to be Nagy's last season in Chicago. Because this is a no-brainer move. How do you go up in the draft this high, get this guy, and have him sit? You know what I'm saying?
Committed to Andy Dalton.
But behind Andy Dalton. Like, I can understand sitting behind a lot of people in this league, especially if you were, like, a phenomenal athlete in college.
Right.
But I don't see any person sitting behind Andy Dalton.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
My thoughts on that is that he probably put a lot of his eggs in Andy Dalton's basket.
For what?
You know what I'm saying?
No, I don't. Tell us.
I mean, I get it. And like, you know, people were talking about the Patriots and Andy Dalton come to the Patriots and just, you know, whatever. But I feel like he was like, you know what? Andy Dalton's going to be a great resource for us on the Bears. And so I feel like if they don't come out and say something as in he's going to be the starter or whatever, that he's going to kind of slip through the cracks and be like, you know what? I'm over this. This new kid came and took my spot. I don't give a shit. I don't want to be here. I mean, I don't know Andy Dalton personally, so how am I supposed to say his personality? But the fact is they have to reassure him constantly. You know what I'm saying? In the media. And I'm sure the conversations with him are very similar. They have to reassure so many people that he's going to be the starter. That's a red flag to me. You have to constantly tell people, oh, no matter what, he's going to be the starter. It's not for the people. It's for somebody else.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
But what is the point here? What is the point here? Andy Dalton, he did nothing other than be a regular season hero occasionally in Cincinnati. He goes occasionally, very occasionally. Yeah. He never even took him to a playoff victory, okay, when he did make the playoffs. Then he goes as a backup to Dallas. Okay, so let's
stunk.
But here's the thing. Let's just talk about this real quick. He's coming to Chicago like he's fresh off a starting season where he posted good numbers and like he expects his play. Bro, you were a backup last year, and you were a backup last year because A, your best is behind you, and there was a superior quarterback on the roster in Dak Prescott that needed to play, okay? Why are the Bears selling Andy Dalton on some starting franchise quarterback pipe dream when you go out and draft Justin Fields? Bring him in and say, hey, remember what you did last year on Dallas? Do the same thing. You're in a Bears uniform now. We just drafted the next dude. It's Justin Fields. He's playing, and if he is not ready or gets injured, you're in. We got a competent backup. Is that hard? It's
really not, because all you're doing at that point is you're coddling a grown man who's been bounced around in this league. We can say that for sure now, who's been bounced around in this league. You want more than one team, I'm going to call that a bounce around. But at the same time, you just have to know, as a Bears organization and as a fucking head coach, Nagy, I'm talking to you, that you have the best player and he's not on the field.
Exactly.
How the fuck do you have the best player and he's on the field? I'm telling my high school kids, yo, I'm trying to find the best 11 to put them on the field.
Right.
Why wouldn't I do that at the professional ranks?
100%.
What do you even think about or consider doing that in college? So, like, I don't understand the thought process, and like that's why I'm saying I really believe that someone, if not Nagy, told him, you're going to be the quarterback, and they have to keep reassuring him. That's why I keep thinking that they're saying all this shit publicly and definitely saying all this shit 100% as well.
I mean, look, if that's the case, Andy Dalton, if he is any better, is not that much better than a Cam Newton. Get rid of Andy Dalton in a stupid contract and go bring in Cam Newton. Cam Newton's been playing for basically a veteran's minimum, and you're going to go out and pay Andy Dalton big money and promise him a starting role? Dude, what?
I don't get it. I just don't, bro.
I don't even know if Cam Newton is better than Andy Dalton. I don't even know that.
No, but that's what I'm saying. I'm saying Andy
Cam
could be slightly
better leader. I think Cam Newton might be a better leader, but then it comes back to the reason why he didn't stay in the Patriots. Is he going to be a distraction? Is he going to take away from Justin Fields? And, the organization might not see it, but it's also the players internally. So, you know what I'm saying? You might not. Are you better than Andy Dalton? If not, whatever. Come in. He plays for a little bit, right? But the thing is, if he comes now, it's in the middle of the season. He don't know the playbook. It's a whole nother year. And at that point, you're going to want Justin Fields starting. You know what I'm saying? The guy has a whole year and a few starts under his belt. They're going to want Justin Fields playing. They don't want no Cam Newton. Post-COVID Cam. Ain't nobody want COVID Cam.
Hey, even if nobody wants COVID Cam, I don't want average Andy any day. And I'll tell you,
the red rifle.
I'll tell you that, and I'll take him as a backup. I don't really think I want him as a starter. But real quick, one more football topic we got to touch on. Speaking of a dude that we just mentioned, Dak Prescott, him and his Cowboys go out to L.A., get a big victory in a really hard-fought game, even though he himself didn't necessarily play the best. What do we think? Is that indicative that the Cowboys, their bounce back, is that indicative that this team is legit? Are they actually like a good team? Are they a contender? What's the deal with them?
It sucks saying that because every fucking year they're projected as the favorites, but they're in a shitty-ass conference.
Which should make it even more of a favorite. It's like,
that's
damn.
what I'm saying, but I don't know, just because I just don't trust the Dallas Cowboys. I just don't. No matter who's on that squad, unless we're going back to the 90s, I just don't trust that squad whatsoever, bro.
People don't want the Cowboys to win unless you're Cowboys fans, which aren't really Cowboys fans. They're homegrown Cowboys fans. Ain't nobody say, oh, I grew up watching the Cowboys on my own. So my dad be watching. Now I'm a Cowboys fan.
Facts.
So this wants the Cowboys to be great. I mean, we talked about this time and time again. 2, see, just like I was telling you earlier, the only reason why I think the Cowboys might be good this season is the Hard Knocks. It's literally an anti-Hard Knocks.
Man.
It is an anti-Hard Knocks curse. Every time you watch Hard Knocks and they look good. They look good.
You know why? Because they edit the fuck out of that shit. That's why they look good.
I get it. But I was watching Hard Knocks this season, and I watched every episode, all of them. First off, a DB's son, Tavon Diggs, didn't even know who the starting quarterback was. He kept calling him Patrick Mahomes. Let's just start that off. He was like, "Are you Patrick Mahomes?" It's like you just call. I'm Dak Prescott. I'm the starting quarterback in the team. You know what I'm saying? They didn't even know. It made him look so bad. And I'm just like, all right, we'll see what happens because Hard Knocks never messes up. Happens they come out for the first game and they're balling out. Better stats than Tom Brady. They're having a good season. Week 2, they're having a good game. It's just like, I think it's the opposite of Hard Knocks. I think they're going to have a good season because of how bad they are on Hard Knocks. Terrible facts over here. Terrible take, but it's the truth.
Hey, put your head down.
I got itch right here.
Put your head down real quick.
What's up?
Put it down. Tilt it down more. What's up? Is that a big D for Dallas? You've been watching Hard Knocks so much, you got brainwashed?
Get that out of here. No, let me get that out of here. No.
He's buying the merch.
You feel me? Oh, man, you bought in completely, my boy.
We are not Dallas supporters here. We are big New England fans.
Go, Pats, go.
/ Tampa Bay fans. All right?
Shit.
God damn, let me tell you.
No, but yeah. I feel like if any season, on some real talk, I feel like if this is any season, this is going to be the year for the Cowboys to win their division. Just straight up, hopefully even possibly make a playoff run if that line improves offensively and if Ezekiel Elliott actually wakes up. Ezekiel has to wake up.
But there's a new man in town. His name's Tony Pollard.
Hey, I got one more take before.
And he's balling.
I got one thing I wanted to mention because I know we have to wrap this up, but I just on this because going forward, not going forward. What am I talking about? I'm over here drinking wine. So I don't know if you saw after last weekend that 4 quarterbacks got hurt. Andy Dalton, Tua. Who the hell are the other two? Come on, I can't even think.
Tyrod Taylor.
You know what I'm saying?
Tyrod Taylor got hurt.
Tyrod Taylor got hurt. Again. And who was the last one?
The last one was Big Ben got hurt.
I don't think that was the one, but there was 4 starters that got hurt. And so I feel like this
Fitzpatrick. You thinking of Fitzpatrick?
Is going to
Fitzpatrick? You thinking of Ryan Fitzpatrick?
Maybe. I think it could be actually. Unless it was Heineke. I don't know. Whatever. But my point is, this season is going to be the year for the young bucks. You know what I'm saying?
I like that.
I think, and obviously, the head Patrick Mahomes is kind of leading the way. He's not a young buck anymore. He's a leader. But I think he's the Tom Brady of the new generation. And they're going to start going and with it. And the young bucks are going to come in, take over. And it's going to be a whole new league. I think this is the year where it transcends and goes on from there. So I'm excited to see what they're going to show. I'm excited to see what they're going to perform. Obviously, no matter how good some of these young guys are, especially Trevor Lawrence, who's 0-2, but no one cares because it's the Jacksonville
Jaguars, yeah.
I think this is going to be the season for the young guys to kind of really take their lead, cement themselves as the new leaders, and really start the new league off.
I like that. The passing of the torch.
You got to have that. It's synonymous in all leagues. It's bound to happen. Why not now?
You know what? And hey, if you're one of those people who, look, I love all the old heads in the league, but if you love the sport itself, you got to be excited for the next generation to come on and be talented and take the reins, because that is going to be the product of the sport for the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years.
And just a quick reminder to all the New England fans out there, nobody really wanted to let Bledsoe go. They were like, we're going to put in who? Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Right? What? We're going to put in this guy? Fuck this guy. Oh, let's look back 20 years later and you're like, oh, I'm glad they did that.
Good decision.
You know what I'm saying?
Good move.
So, yeah, let the young bucks play. You just got to know when to piss or get off the pot.
Exactly. Exactly.
You just got to know when to piss or get off the pot.
So we got 2 more things we want to talk about real quick before we let you guys go. What do you guys think? Do we want to go with like that happy-go-lucky pop culture story, or do we want to go with like that trenches back to our roots discussion first? What do we want to leave the people off with?
I'm saying is, you know me, I love me some.
He loves some pop.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's always good to know. Remember where you came from.
The trenches, baby.
All right, so you know what? Let's do this. Let's do some trench talk, and then we'll end with some feel good.
All right,
some feel good.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
So trench talk. This is probably when we say trench talk, it's because we're talking about something that's not just, oh, you see how these teams play, you see how these teams play. These are like, when you come down to the real issues, whether it's things that are like political, racial, whatever anything is, like that's trench talk. Trench talk is that stuff that most people don't want to talk about, but we talk about here in the trenches.
We talk about it fucking anyways.
We talk about it. Let's talk about Usain Bolt and Sha'carri Richardson, because recently, and I just wanted to pull it up, some comments surfaced, and I personally was I'm not necessarily confused. I didn't have a reaction because I wasn't really sure what to think, partly because, again, I don't really know the full story, not only of like what Sha'carri's dealing with, but also like maybe the full context of what Usain Bolt's quote was. Right. But it was to the effect of Usain Bolt said Sha'carri should train more and talk less. And he said, I know she really hates advice, but I'm going to be 100% honest when I say this. And basically his message to her was, if you want to send a message, do it with your performance. And that's his interpretation of it. But a lot of people have said it's the equivalent of like the whole shut up and dribble type of comment. And I'm curious because it's interesting the fact that it's coming from Usain Bolt and not like a pundit on like ESPN or like something like that. You know what I mean?
Just a regular news reporter.
Or just a regular reporter. So that's one of those things where it's always like, you know, you look at it and you're like, damn, like it's not necessarily like that one. I don't know. I'm just curious. I'm curious. What do you guys think about that?
I'll let G go first. I'll
make this point and then I'll shut up. Basically, there was a lot of downfall with Sha'carri not being able to go to the Olympics, right? A lot of drama that came around.
Big time.
And that was really messed up. And obviously, teams have a lot of rules. And at the end of the day, rules are rules, whether we don't want to follow them or we want to follow them. You know what I'm saying? But but unfortunately, she wasn't able to go, right? But because of that, a lot of people had her support. A lot of people were on her back. A lot of people were on her side because she was also going through a tough time. And I understand that as well, right? But luckily, as a woman of her age, she has a really long career where she's going to be able to do a lot more in the time that she has. What happens? She comes in and she runs the race right after, after the Olympics with the Jamaican women, right?
Right.
And she got beat. But the thing is, I feel like so many people were so locked in on her getting beat, they didn't realize that she was right there with them. The Olympic runner, she was right there with them. It wasn't like she got destroyed. It wasn't like she was so far back from the pack. She was in. But what the problem is that I feel she got too lost in the comments. I feel like she looked too much in the media and she reacted too much. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people deal with it. Like, you gotta think about it, right? We say Patrick Mahomes is one of the best quarterbacks. We see Tom Brady one of the best quarterbacks. But even to this day, they have people who will be relentless on the internet telling them they're garbage, telling them they're nothing, telling them they should go do this, that, and the other thing. You know what I'm saying? And I think as a woman of her age, she saw the comments, she saw some of the negative things, and she decided to react. And she went back at it, especially publicly, which, especially in a woman, like I said, of her age, she hasn't really done too much. She's been a great winner. She's been able to do a lot of things. But especially after that last loss, it's kind of like, you know what? Time to take a back seat to what's going on the internet. I get it. People on your side. But you need to readjust and refocus. Come back in, win a few more races, and then we'll talk again. You know what I'm saying? I'm 100%, I'm on her side, but it got to a point where she's talking more than she is winning. And no matter what you do, especially in the public highlight, that's not going to be successful. So.
Nah, yeah, just to piggyback what you're saying, like, for sure, she got into a lot of, I'm not going to say, like, music or movie deals, but she did a promo with Kanye when his album was coming out.
The Donda one?
The Donda one.
Yeah.
She was like a preview on like his little hype up ad that he was promoting for it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that was, I felt like, the beginning of the end of the situation of her being more focused on the Olympics than being a celebrity in the light. So I understand what Usain is saying. Like, just go out and do your job. But I don't think at all it's from a standpoint of the shut up and dribble lady was coming from.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I agree.
I don't think he was saying it in that light. I think he was actually just saying it like, yo, do your shit. We all know you're capable of doing your shit. Get back on it. Because the first thing that we saw from you was that you lost to an Olympic runner, like Gordon said.
Right.
But at the same time, you lost to an Olympic runner, but we see you doing X, Y, and Z. You know what I'm saying? Which is nothing to do with helping you in your sport or your career.
Facts.
You know what I mean? So, like I said, I understand what Usain is saying. I just wish he would have just, like, hit her up privately.
Right.
Instead of coming out and, like, making it known like this. But it's a gray area. It's like a lot of things in life. There's a gray area, and there's a certain way how you should handle it and how you shouldn't handle it.
You know,
I felt like he didn't do it the right way.
is funny because I think my two quick initial reactions to it are like as far as like to address like the whether like hitting her up privately versus like making a public statement. It almost reminds me of like what like when you were playing sports growing up, right? Like did it register more to get chewed out one-on-one, like where the coach comes up to you and puts his hands on the shoulder? Or did it register more like when the coach chews you out in front of the whole team and now your whole team's unnoticed that, hey, you just made this mistake and you better step it up because you just made a mistake. And you feel like, hey, I got eyes on me now because I just made a mistake, right?
And I got
you know what I'm saying? So part of me almost feels like he is kind of using that tactic where it's like, hey, like, let's go, like, you know, put it out there in the public and say that, hey, you got something to prove, and I know you got something to prove, and maybe that will be a bigger motivator than just maybe sending her a one-on-one text. Who knows? I could be completely off base with that. That's just the first thing I related to. The second thing, though, is I completely 100% agree with you that when I saw someone comment and say, so he's basically saying shut up and dribble, that wasn't my initial reaction at all. My initial reaction is that he's looking at it and he's saying, hey, you can talk, but nothing speaks like results. So if you want to go out there and say that people shouldn't judge you because you're smoking weed or judging you because you're doing X, Y, Z, the best thing to do is just go out and beat them. Go out and beat them and shut them up. And then nobody can say nothing. Is if you prove them wrong, people can't say anything to you.
Exactly.
And I think that was more of his overarching
and that's what
point.
I'm saying. He didn't come up and be like, hey, you're just an athlete, so just do that. He was coming out like, yo, just prove these fuckers wrong and do what you do, just like what you just said.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's exactly where I was coming from it with.
For sure.
But yeah.
Yeah, I just thought it was interesting because obviously, like, you know, like the media and the news headlines, they start running with that stuff, and next thing you know, it looks like, oh, Usain Bolt is like, you know, publicly like attacking Sha'carri, and so people start debating. But really, I don't think that's the case. You know?
But that just got my gears turning real quick. I just wanted to say, in high school, I had a coach who was the type, I guess, to be like, hey, let's talk about this in private. You mess up here and here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? All right, figure it out, clean it up, go back out next time. And when I got to college, I did a stupid ass play one time. Stupid ass thing after a play, I should say. Just by like hitting the dude on the helmet. But we kept going back and forth. They did it like 2-3 times each other. Same good play. Right, obviously being facetious, sarcastic, the whole 9 yards. Ref caught on, just threw a flag. So I get out. My coach is just chewing me out in front of the whole team on the sideline. So we're in front of fans, in front of my squad, the other officials. And this was the first time I had a coach be like, you fucked up. You're not supposed to be doing this. You're X, Y, and Z on this team. You know we hold you to a higher standard. And I never had that. And ever since he did that to me, like publicly, right in front of everybody, I stepped my shit up. And I never did that shit again.
There you go.
Because he came to me later after and was like, yo, you're a leader on this team.
Right.
You can't have all these other people that are behind you or not even in your position. They just see you and act and do all this shit. And once he did that to me and it actually came back and talked to me, it registered and I kept that in. So like it's a double-edged sword. We just have to know what type of person that Sha'carri really is when she hears criticism. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because some people just curl up and be like, that's it. Or other people flourish and spread their wings.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And you don't even know. Like, we're just hearing the comments that he made publicly to the media. He definitely could have also sent her a text message and just been like, hey, I said this about you in an interview. It's nothing but love. I just think you're capable of doing more, and I just want you to know it. Like, bang.
Just straight up.
Straight up. And maybe he did say something like that, but we don't know. We just know what was, you know, we just know what was reported publicly. One last story we got. We told you we leave you with a little feel good, fun. This was something when I saw it. Honestly, it was just one of those things where it's like I kind of just loved it. It threw me back to like being like a little kid thinking of like Bow Wow and shit, like the whole like crossover, like Lil Romeo, like those dudes who were like rappers, entertainers, but they would also like they were nasty basketball players. You'd watch like who was it? Was it Lil Romeo and Master P that had the show on Nickelodeon where they followed his travel team, his AAU team around the country, like all that stuff. I love that shit. So when you said J. Cole practicing with the Magic, I was like, I love it. I love it because J. Cole's he's been known to be a great athlete and a great basketball player.
He always talks about getting cut from his JV high school basketball team.
Right.
Look at him now.
I love it.
Practicing with the Magic.
Absolutely love it. Do you see this, Gordon?
I love hearing things like this. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's nice. J. Cole went to play in some Asian league, right?
No, he was in the African league. He was in Africa.
He's in the African league.
He was in Africa.
Cool. Good for him. That's great. But, he's only there because he's famous. He's not there because of his basketball prowess. He's not there because he performs so well. It's great. It's good. It feels good. Oh, look at J. Cole. We love J. Cole. But, at the end of the day, what I think about is, that one dude has been grinding his whole life to get that one spot that didn't get it because J. Cole wanted to play basketball for a couple weeks. You know what I'm saying? That one dude who didn't get an opportunity because J. Cole wanted to be a part of this team because J. Cole wanted to do this, want to do that, want to do whatever. I got no problem with J. Cole. I think his music's phenomenal. When you're signing up on a basketball team in Africa and taking a spot away from somebody or want to do this, want to do that. Granted, he could have just been filled in with the Florida team, right? You know what I'm saying? He could have definitely just joined in with himself. But I don't know. I'm just one of those guys where there are dudes who are sweating their lives out looking for an opportunity and just not getting it.
Are you discounting
Cole told your spot because he makes more money than you, bitch. Yeah.
But wait, are you discounting the fact that J. Cole may actually be that good at ball?
You're talking about Jermaine Cole.
Jermaine Cole. Jermaine.
Just say
Jermaine Cole.
No, but for real, this dude. Shut the fuck up. But this dude has been saying nothing about
rest in peace, Uncle Phil.
Fucking playing basketball since his mixtapes to his album release to actually being around celebrities to being around NBA players to going to spots in fucking Carolina and just doing pickup games. Dude, he played his respects. He did what he had to do. You know what I'm saying? It may have taken him being a Grammy-nominated artist or Grammy-winning. I don't know if he won this shit or not, but
I'm pretty sure he won something.
Yeah, he won something, but
he is Jermaine.
But you feel what I'm saying? To get to that point, I'm gonna use my stardom to get on the fucking team. Y'all cut me from JV high school basketball. Cool, watch me. I'm on the Orlando Magic right now. You feel what I'm saying? You're come on. I think that's a great story. I love that. I was on my lunch break and I was just looking through my fucking IG. I'm like, that's J. Cole. Why is there a lot of Magic players around there? I was like, oh shit, that's what's up.
I get it. But if you look at it from that side of things, right? You really haven't proved anything other than that your money can buy you anything in the world.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Cool. You haven't proved them that you should have been cut from JV. Why? Because you scored one shot, but you scored 2 points, 3 points. What was his average in Africa? 2 or 3 points a game?
I think 3.5.
Come on now. Cool. You didn't prove anything. You proved that money literally can let you do anything in this world, which everybody already knew that. You know what I'm saying? Anyone that doesn't think money is the best thing in the world, money can save the entire world. Money can destroy the entire world because that's what money is. It can put you on the Orlando Magic. You know what I'm saying?
It's true.
Come on.
No, it's true.
Don't act like he proved himself to get to that level.
Well, I appreciate you letting me and Justin into your TED Talk, bro.
Hey, there'll be a new one next week.
This motherfucker all one.
Worldwide Wines.
Worldwide Wines got that boy feeling wavy.
Yeah.
I love it.
Oh, shit. Well, hey, you know what?
Uncle Phil, for real.
Maybe he should stick to rapping. I don't know. Hey, I don't know, man. Hey, I will say those highlights you showed me, they didn't show too much footage. Maybe there wasn't enough highlights to show.
That's what I'm saying. That was the first time that I saw the footage. I only saw the stills. And that's what I was telling you off rip.
Yeah, they were like, hey, look, we didn't have enough for a whole mixtape. We just gotta, let's film him lacing up his shoes. He took a jumper at one
Justin,
point.
bro,
he was in the building. I promise you that.
Justin, you could probably dunk on J. Cole. Let's get it out there, right?
Should we issue a challenge? J. Cole, Jay Fine.
Yeah, we calling them out.
J. Cole, Jermaine.
J. Cole, if you're out there, I'm issuing you an official one-on-one challenge right now. You name it. You pick the court. You pick the rules. You can pick the ball. The one-on-one challenge will come to you. Sponsored by HedgeBetter. We're out.
You feel me? I gotta put that plug in there, boy.
We're out there. Hey, we appreciate you guys coming for episode 14. As always, I got Don Gordon and SK. We're here to talk about anything and everything. We love getting that trench talk. We love just shooting the shit. Talking about whatever. We'll catch you guys hopefully next week. We're working on getting more guests up and running for the next couple episodes. But we hope you appreciate chatting with us and what we got to say. We will catch you guys next time. As always, follow us on Instagram, like our stuff, go to YouTube, follow the HedgeBetter channel, subscribe to us. You can check out the Trenches and all of the other shows we got. We got some great stuff. And like I said, follow us on Instagram, check out our other stuff. You know what the deal is. We're coming at you. We'll see you next time. We appreciate you guys.
Easy.